Hey guys, welcome to the Grateful Anglers. I'm Big John.
And I'm John Bondi, and we're here at Christmas time at the bait shop.
Boy, you had a nice little get together yesterday, nice little luncheon here. I'll throw a little picture up of, but yeah, it was just, thank you, John. We had
I'm not too proud of myself after what I ate yesterday. But,
yeah, there was some.
I'm going to have some fruit and vegetables today to make up for it.
Yeah, there we go.
We had more snacks than we knew what to do with.
Chicken, pizza, brownies, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
So we did a little thing. The idea was we're going to get an 18-piece of Mary Brown's chicken and an 18-piece of KFC. Now this Mary Brown's chicken is really growing here in Canada, and I'd never had it.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the vote between everybody was that I find this hard to believe that this Mary Brown's was outvoting KFC pretty much by everybody, and I like.
I didn't try the Mary Brown. I just had one piece of chicken, so I had one of the KFC.
It was more money.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the pieces were a little bit bigger, but everybody liked it. Most of the people have never had it before, and everybody liked it.
Yep.
So give it a try. Maybe they'll send a bucket.
Oh, there we go. Before we start, John, I got a real thank you. I want to say thank you to the Lake St. Clair Walleye Association for giving me this hat. I'm going to wear it with pride. I love it. You guys rock, and I really do appreciate it.
Look them up on Facebook. Great group.
Yeah, and look, Jerry gave us all a nice little grab bag. Jerry Toner.
Yeah, she was.
She's a Detroit River Queen. We call it, well, she's a lunch lady fishing, but
she knows how to catch them walleye.
Yeah, she's
got a beautiful boat.
She's good. Anyways, it was nice seeing everybody. Thank you, John.
Yeah, we still got our giveaway here. Yep, we still got our giveaway at the store here. We got a couple of bucktails from St. Clair Hound. Brand new colors here. He also gave us a t-shirt. We got a whole bunch of Bondi stuff. It's going to be going in the mix. We got a musky rod. Beautiful. He's top quality from Tactical Fishing.
Beautiful.
And it's a full telescoping musky rod. These things, you know, they don't just, these things aren't cheap, right?
Brand new, guys, in the plastic.
They were kind enough to throw one into the mix, and you guys just come down, say hi, talk fishing. We'll give you a ballot, get you entered. And again, we also have the Bondi bait decals. Just come on down anytime, talk fishing, and
Johnny boy, when they come down, you got a really cool board out there with pictures on. Can anybody bring a picture of their catch and put it on the wall?
You can bring a picture in that you printed out, or send it to us, text it or whatever, and we'll print it out, put it on the wall. If your kid has a giant fish and you want to get on the wall of fame out there.
Yeah, someday I'd like to see that whole room full of fish pictures. Like he's slowly covering up the maps and all that with pictures. So
that makes a good bait shop.
Yeah.
When people come in and they spend time looking at those fish that were, caught locally, and that's the type of stuff that makes a good old-fashioned bait shop popular. Guys come in and just have time to look at stuff like that, and the old rods and reels we have in there.
I saw a lot of that at your show. I saw guys coming over and really looking at all the pictures on the wall. So if you got a great picture, bring it in, guys. Stick it to his wall there. No nudity, please. We don't need that. But
that would really happen?
Wow, you never know. Some crazy people out there.
So what are we going to talk about?
Well, we kind of just spun something together really quick, guys, because we do want to kick off the podcast and get it rolling. The ice has moved in, and there's, I don't think anybody's getting on today on their boats.
I saw them, not on the boats, but I saw them picture in Michigan. Guys are on the ice. Be very careful, but there's got to be some areas that are safe enough.
I seen a picture of a guy on the ice yesterday, but anyways, don't spud your way out if you're going. Know what you're doing before you go. We go over this all the time. Don't make bad decisions.
That's right.
But today, we just put something together quick because we like I said, we want to kick off the whole podcast season, and we decided we're going to talk a little bit about boat ramps, maybe boat ramp adequacy.
Etiquette.
Etiquette. I can't pronounce that word 100%, so it's close enough. But we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about what makes a boat ramp good, and maybe we'll talk about some of our favorite boat ramps. And I hope some of the dignitaries out there are also listening to this, because I feel like we could do a little bit better around here on a couple of the municipal ramps, and there's some great municipal ramps around here, but we're just going to touch on a few things about that. What do you think, Johnny?
You mean when the pilings are busted and there's bolts sticking out? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I've been in some pretty wild boat ramps, and for me, what decides a boat ramp, there's so many different factors, and first thing I always think of is I want the closest boat ramp to the fishing spot I'm going. But there's a lot of things that can change that, like time of year, and sometimes you got to go to a shady boat ramp, guys. Like if it's got flow, like it's got a creek going through it. Sometimes those are the ramps you got to use when there's ice out there, because the other ones are locked up. One of my favorite ramps over the years has been LaSalle, but LaSalle boat ramp is like one of the last ramps to get the ice out, and it's not that far from shore to the opening of the marina, but it just holds ice.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I grew up right there at that ramp. That's where I started fishing. The first bass I ever caught was right off the railing right there when I was a kid, but I remember when it was just gravel there. And that's a nice spot for a ramp. It's a little lacking in parking and the lanes. We're trying to get some people to realize in the town there that fishing is the #1 tourist attraction in the town of LaSalle, and it's been that way for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But we're trying to push through and get some changes there for everybody.
The more voices, the better, guys. Like, I mean, we don't want to knock heads with them. We want to come to a conclusion and make something happen. So basically, the parking, we used to have a ton of parking. We used to have overflow. There used to be a whole other laneway where we used to park down, and they changed that into a beautiful walking area, fish sanctuary, but now we lost all that parking. So in the spring, and that spring fishing carries on like almost to July. I mean, I've seen them parked up in the bank, that Toronto Dominion Bank, with boat trailers. They get mad. So
people have parked 10 minutes down the road and had to walk all the way back. So that's not a good situation.
No.
You know, the issue is in a lot of towns, it's not just LaSalle, Essex County as a whole, they haven't realized
the potential.
The potential and the value of sport fishing. I mean, it's worth billions of dollars. And if you go to other jurisdictions, Ontario and in Michigan and Sandusky, Ohio, they've realized what makes a good boat ramp.
Yeah.
You know, and the parking is there, and there's only the problem with the town of LaSalle and the city of Windsor and there's only so much property near the water where we can have parking, and the town councils don't really want to put it as gravel or paved parking because it's not a walking trail or some other fancy thing that they want to put in there. So the fishermen have to push. They just have to push and get it done and get the ramps perfectly, you know.
And hopefully we can get that. And I do want to say one thing. I did notice a little bit of improvement in LaSalle this year. Yes, the parking was bad, but there was a little bit more direction down there this year. Guys, when you have a boat ramp that's busy, it creates a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting, and a lot of it is because nobody has direction. Nobody knows which boat ramp to use. You know, you got guys that are coming in using the out ramp. So this year there was a lot more direction down there, and that's, you know, I feel like maybe we're making a little bit of headway, but we really need to find a way for overflow parking down there, because it is a great facility. Like, that boat ramp is very nice to use. It's good, it's easy on the boat.
It is nice, but again, in 40 years of fishing there's never been an improvement. Yeah, it's not changed. They paved it. That was it. You know, so we need better ramps in this town with social media. People are coming from all over now. I've had this fall. I talked to people from Green Bay, Wisconsin, people from New Jersey, people from all over the place. They're coming to this area, and they're spending money. So I don't know. I mean,
and I heard there's even a hotel being built in LaSalle. So
I tell you what,
that's going to help the fishery too. You know.
Well, if they're building, whoever's building that hotel in LaSalle, trust me, you need outdoor plugs for people to plug in their boats, and you need more parking, because there's really a lot of these hotels around here, they don't have plugs outside, and I've gone to a lot of them and talked to the owners and found which ones have plugs.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important. It's not just all hockey tournaments and stuff that are coming to use these hotels. You know, it's fishermen. They're building one out on Easy Row out there right now. I think it's a Radisson or something. I don't know the parking situation there, but you got to make room for boats and trailers.
And I think that's what's really enhancing the Airbnbs and making them pretty busy, because you know, they got the driveway, they got the plug. But
now, the difference in some of these places that really realize the value of fishing to their town. I mean, we are surrounded. When you think about it, Essex County is just a little peninsula surrounded by water, full of fish, just full of fish. But a lot of the town councils, well, none of them do you ever hear about fishing being discussed. Lakeshore, Tecumseh, but none of them discuss fishing in any of these town council meetings. So it takes people to go there and enlighten them.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to attend town council meetings, or nothing will ever change. You know,
yeah.
We deserve better ramps, and we spend the money. You know what I mean?
Like I said, we're not trying to attack anybody or any municipalities, but we're trying to make good things happen and get the word out there that, hey, we're trying to give fishermen a voice, and not only fishermen, boaters. I mean, I call us the golden horseshoe, the Detroit River, because we do have some of the best fishing and some of the best boating anywhere. You can hide from that wind. You can, you know, there's always somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Essex County. I mean, I can imagine being from Michigan and looking at the wind directions and saying, boy, I wish I lived in Windsor, because I could go to Erie one day, I could go to St. Clair one day. You know what I mean? It all depends on the wind direction. And
it wouldn't take much to tweak things, you know. Like I go to several different boat ramps over the course of the year, because, you know, I fish everything in the Western Basin, even on the other side of the Western Basin, a bit of Lake Erie, all the way up to Lighthouse Cove. I fish, and some of these municipalities, they really do a great job. Like Colchester, they're amazing there. The problem with Colchester is that harbor locks up and stays, you know, iced up pretty late too, because there's no real flow going through there, and they got the break wall around it. But
you didn't need an airboat.
Yeah,
I would love to have an airboat.
Yeah, it'd be cool, but I don't know about trolling with those big blades going on the back.
They're kind of loud, but man, one day I'm gonna have one of them things for ice fishing.
just to be cool and drive up and down the river on it. Hey, maybe drive over somebody's back lawn with it,
You could.
Yeah. But no. So and another thing. What about boat ramp adequacy? You know? Etiquette.
The problem is,
let's rehash
we look
that
at
word.
Okay. Start over. Etiquette.
What about boat ramp etiquette?
Etiquette.
What about boat ramp etiquette?
Start over.
No, I'm gonna put that in there.
Etiquette.
What about what is it? You got
etiquette.
You got an American accent.
No, I don't.
Okay, so boat ramp etiquette.
Here's a situation.
You're happy?
Yes. Here's a situation with boat ramp etiquette.
I think you're all cool with that jersey on, don't you?
All right, start over. I'm not talking anymore.
Okay.
You're making fun of me.
Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh,
okay.
You want to beat me up?
Okay, start over.
Okay, we're done.
Etiquette.
Okay, boat ramp etiquette.
Start over.
Okay, so let's talk about boat ramp etiquette.
It's not funny.
We wasted 3 minutes on the word etiquette.
Etiquette. Okay, listen. The deal with boat ramp etiquette. We go there, we see a guy who's backing up, he's still got the tarp on, he's still got the straps on, and we get angry. Okay? But 30 years ago, that was us.
Yeah.
And so you have to be patient. You can't just go up and start yelling at the guy because he's a new boater. Because then...
But you can educate him.
You can educate him, but you have to keep in mind that we didn't come to being, quick at launching our boat overnight. right? So everybody is in a different place. There's a lot of new boaters, and you have to give them a little leeway. Everybody is in a different place in their boating experience. Yes, they are blocking the ramp. They are taking too long, but when we were teenagers, that was us. So you have to give them some slack, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree. I mean, there's days in the spring when I've actually thought about sitting down at the boat ramp with a GoPro and just you probably see some really cool things come on.
The internet's full of stuff like that, but you know, I don't get hot under the collar over it just because everybody is different in their experience level.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of just let it slide sometimes, you know what I mean?
What I kind of do, I come down and I'll get everything ready on the boat, and then I'll just go down, grab the rope, unhook, put it in, and get out of there as quick as I can. Same coming in, get it on the trailer, get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
I mean, if there's nobody down there, like this time of year, like I went this week, there were 3 other boats, so nobody was at the boat ramp. I came in, I left my boat in the ramp because I wanted to make sure all the water was out of my motor. I didn't want anything that could freeze up, so I kind of utilized the slope of the ramp to make that happen. And the only reason I did that is because nobody else was there. But if the boat ramp's busy, you know, don't be that guy.
There's been more than one time where I've watched people yelling at each other, and it's just very cringy to watch this happen. You know, grown adults almost coming to blows over stupid
Wow.
stuff.
What about,
you know?
John, you've been, like I've been to a lot of boat ramps around here, but John's been to a lot of boat ramps between here all the way to Florida. And what about some of these places that got like fish cleaning stations and all that? Is it pretty cool or what?
You know what? I don't know of a fish cleaning station in our county where it's full of fish. Where's the fish cleaning station?
I think Rondo,
You know what I mean?
or Erio, I think they have a fish cleaning station.
It's not in our county.
I know, but
If you go, if you
southwestern
build
Ontario.
it right, if you build it right, okay. I've seen some of the nicest ones, and what you do is you have it all. You build it with a a nice roof, stainless, and you have all the stuff going sloping to a hole down the middle, and that goes into a grinder, into the sewer, right? And as long as vandalism doesn't happen, it works great for everybody.
Okay.
There's no smell because it's going down the center hole, into the grinder, into the ground, into the sewer. As long as you have the will, you know, like for example, I had paid for, through the tourism group, we had paid for a fish cleaning station at City Marina in LaSalle. In both instances, the councils would not permit it to be installed. Now that's ridiculous, right? That was actually paid for, didn't cost the taxpayers anything, and it was blocked. That's nonsense, right?
Yeah.
You go to any large town where they have embraced fishing, the fish cleaning stations are all over. You go down to Sandusky, Ohio, they have businesses, all they do is clean your fish when you come in from fishing.
Yeah,
you know?
I see that a lot on the forums, you know, like
Think about that.
fish cleaning, and yeah, I see
There's
that.
enough
Yeah,
fish
it's
that it
crazy.
sustains a business that cleans fish. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's what we need in this area is a fish cleaning station. I mean, come on now, that's ridiculous.
Can I tell
know?
you something cool? I used to go to Key West every couple of years with my family back in the day, and there was this one gentleman that would come down. He had one of those 3-wheel pedal bikes, and he'd come down and he'd hit the kickstand, and then his seat would reverse, and he'd be able to pedal looking backwards. And in the middle of his axle, he had a sharpening stone, and he would sharpen all the knives for all the charters, and he made a business out of it. I don't have a picture of it. I wish I did, but it was really cool. And that was this guy's retirement. That's what he did. He went down every day and sharpened knives.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it was really cool. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I just there's so much potential. You know, we could use the best boat ramp I ever saw in my life. It could easily be done in this area. Is in Decatur, Alabama. And what they did was they took a big commercial harbor, okay, like the little harbor that's next to the LaSalle ramp, or like Morton Terminal type thing where tugboats and stuff go in there. They took all that stuff out and they took the entire back end of it, like 50, 100 yards wide and made one wide boat ramp. They made one wide boat ramp. You could come in with 10, 15 boats, do a U-turn, back it in. And what they did was they put a floating dock 100 yards long on the right side and a floating dock 100 yards long on the left side. And people would come in, nobody was in anybody's way. You could launch your boat and you just walk it down that long dock. And what it was, like I say, it was a commercial harbor. And that was the best boat ramp I had ever seen in my life because it had the space. It had the long docks on both sides. It didn't matter if you were an inexperienced boater or at all. You just go off to the side. And it was nice and wide. It was one long, wide ramp. And that's what we could do around here if there's will, you know.
Yeah.
And problem solved.
Yeah.
Plenty of parking, but there's got to be the will, you know. And that was the best ramp I've ever seen in my life, you know.
Here's another boat ramp thing I want to talk about, and I know everybody's going to have there's going to be a lot of pros and cons about it, but to winch your boat up or to power load, I'm old school. I like to winch my boat up. I don't power load at the boat ramp. There was a time I used to have my bass boat, and it was a cool thing to rev it up the trailer, but I've learned over the years, you know what, just get out, crank it up, and I think it's better for the transom and it's better for the boat ramp. But what are your thoughts on that, John?
Being that I got a big heavy glass boat with bunks, I drive it up. Sometimes the issue is with my rig is the water's different heights, and you got to judge. I look at my top of my fenders and try to judge how far back I need to go, and every ramp's different.
Every ramp's
Cooper's
different.
is different than the city, you know. So if you go too far in, you drive it up there and it just slams into that roller. So you got to be really careful. But
I remember there were times when the angle was so different back when I used to power load that sometimes you'd be coming up, you'd be like, oh my God, my roller's above my nose.
yes,
You know, so you got to get out and hold the boat up and get it.
that's
you know,
the worst.
So, yeah.
And then, you know, if you hit that, I mean, you can do some damage to your boat if you hit it too hard.
And all that, yeah.
So you got to be really careful. But I've always power loaded. Now, if you go on the American side, Michigan, you'll get a ticket for that. A lot of these ramps, they have signs, no power loading, because it burrows out a hole
behind
at the base. But I've never seen that around here, you know.
I've seen actual pictures of that, though. It really does.
Oh, I can
And the
imagine.
problem is a lot of times the cement on the ramp, once they barrel enough of a hole, that'll cave, and then they gotta do repairs. They gotta put another ramp in. So
I remember too at Park one time, I backed in, and I couldn't get far enough in to get the boat off, and there was a hole there, and my trailer was getting stuck in this hole, and I couldn't get the boat off. Had to leave.
those are good, eh?
Corn pop crack.
Thanks, Jerry. These things rock, man. What do you think? You good?
Listen, come on down to the store and talk fishing. We need some fishing reports because we're sitting here. We're not out.
Yeah.
We got waxworms and minnows in. In fact, these waxworms are
What
great.
about those little mousies? Are those still a thing or no?
Not here.
No. Okay.
You like these waxworms?
They're good.
Listen, don't think that we're like taking shots at like town council and stuff.
No.
You know, we're just upset that there's literally no recognition of the industry of sport fishing, where every jurisdiction around us gets it. You know, and the amount of fishermen in this town, think about it. The amount of boats you see, the amount of fishermen in this town, we deserve better.
Well, I don't
You know?
even really think we're upset. I think what we're trying to do is, over time, guys, when you lose something, you don't get it back. And I just feel like we're losing ground on space, and it can knock you out of fishing for a day if you go down to that boat ramp and there's nowhere to park. You know, you get nowadays with inflation, you get one day off a week, and when you want to go fishing that day, everybody's going that same day. And yeah, we're running out of parking. It's great that the fishing industry's really taken off, and hunting, both of them are taking off. Boating, everything's, you know, it's there, but we we got to do a little tweaking, and we got to try and stay on them to help us out a little bit and get some parking. Like I said, we're not trying to knock heads, you know.
You know what? In the United States, it's responsible for just under 1 million jobs.
Really?
Sport fishing business. It's worth over $100 billion.
Unreal. Cheers. Love yous all. Be positive. We're out. Go bros. What?
Nobody farted today.
No.